All right, chapter 13. Kesha Rays, I say, holding out my scan card. The worker records the number on the side of the foilware dinner with her datapod and gives the meal to me. The datapod beeps again as Xander takes his food and stands beside me. Do you see Em anywhere? Or Piper or Kai? He asks. Blankets patchwork the play yard on the side of the first school. It's a real picnic. Food eaten outdoors on the grass. The workers rush around the yard trying to get the right meals into the right hands. It's a bit of a hassle, and I can see why they don't do this very often. It's much easier to have food sent to people's homes, schools, workplaces. I don't think Piper and Kai signed up in time, I say, because of work. Someone waves at us from a blanket in the middle of the yard. There's Em, I tell Xander, pointing, and together we weave our way through the blankets on the grass and say hello to our classmates and friends. Everyone is in a good mood, giddy with the novelty of the whole activity. Looking down, trying not to step on anyone's blanket or anyone's food, I walk right into Xander, who has stopped. He turns to grin at me over his shoulder. You almost made me drop my dinner, he says, and I tease him back, giving him a little shove. He flops down on the blanket next to Em and leans over to look in her foilware container. What did they send us? Before we go on, novelty. Have you heard that word?
Yeah, like a book novel.
There's like a book novel, but if someone has like a novel idea,
Like good.
it's used here. Everyone's in a good mood, giddy with the novelty of the whole activity. So it's like something different. So being able to eat outside, being able to have a picnic, it's something different for them. So Xander looks into Em's foilware to see what they have for dinner. Meat and veggie casserole, Em says, making a face. Remember the ice cream, I say. I'm almost finished eating when someone calls out to Xander from across the grass. I'll be right back, he tells us, before he stands up and makes his way through the crowd. I can track his progress through the mass of people. They turn to watch him pass, call out his name. Em leans over and says to me, I think something's wrong with me. I took the green tablet this morning, already. I meant to save it for later this week. You know. What's the green tablet for again? What is it for? Calming. What's the blue one for?
Health.
Yes, for health, for nutrients, to stay alive, right?
Me too.
I almost ask Em what she means, and then I feel like a terrible friend, because how could I forget? Her match banquet. She meant to save the tablet for that night, because she's getting nervous. Oh, Em, I say, putting my arm around her, hugging her. She and I have been drifting apart lately, but not by choice. This happens as you get closer to your work assignments and vocations, but I miss her. Nights like this, especially. Summery nights when I remember how it used to be when we were younger and had more time. When Em and I used to spend so many of our free rec hours together. We had more of them then. It'll be a wonderful night, I tell her. I promise. Everything's so beautiful. It's exactly like they tell us it will be. Really? Em asks. Of course. Which dress did you pick? They redesign the dresses every 3 years, so Em has the same pool to choose from that I did. One of the yellow ones, number 14. Do you remember it? So much has happened since I stood in the matching office and picked up my dress. I don't think I do, I say, searching my mind. Em's voice becomes more animated as she describes the dress. It's a very light yellow, and it's the one with butterfly sleeves. I remember now. Oh, Em, I loved that dress. You'll be beautiful. She will, too. Yellow is the perfect color for Em. It will look lovely against her creamy skin, her black hair, and dark eyes. It will make her look like sunshine, the spring kind. I'm so nervous. I know, it's hard not to be. Everything is different now that you've been matched with Xander, Em tells me. I've been, wondering. But my match with Xander doesn't make it any more likely. I know, we all know that. But now we can't help but wonder. There's that word again, wonder. Who else has told her to wonder? Grandfather, right? Em looks into her foilware container at her nearly untouched dinner. A chime sounds from the loudspeakers and we all automatically begin to gather our things. Time to work. Em sighs and stands up. Traces of worry still line her face, and I remember how it felt when I waited for my match. Em, I say impulsively, I have a compact you can borrow if you want for your banquet. It's golden. It would look perfect with your dress. I'll bring it over tomorrow morning. Em's eyes widen. You have an artifact and you'd lend it to me? Of course. You're one of my best friends. Red blossom new rose plants sit in black plastic tubs, waiting for us to plant them into the ground in front of First School. First School always looks so cheerful. I can picture the inside of the school with its bright yellow walls, green tile floors, and blue classroom doors. It's easy to feel safe here. I always did when I was young. I feel safe here now, I tell myself. There's no poem left. Papa's problems are over. I'm safe here, and everywhere else. Except on the little hill, where in spite of my decision to stay safe, I often find myself glancing over at Kai, wondering, wishing we could talk again, but not daring to take the risk of saying anything to him besides the common things, the things we always say. I look over my shoulder for Kai, but I still don't see him. And that's where we'll stop.